What's up, everybody? So, today I'm going to be going over step by step how to find, contact, and partner with a professional grade artist for your comic series or comic book or graphic novel or whatever. Um, so, if that's what you want to hear, stick around and stay until the end. If you have any questions about finding an artist that I didn't answer, or if you have any other questions about making independent comic books or marketing indie comics, please ask in the comments. I read pretty much everything that's written and I respond to anybody that's serious. For those that are new to my channel, I'm Lord Max Hoven. I write comics, I produce feature films, I co created the gothic romance graphic novel It Eats What Feeds It, and the cyberpunk horror series Liquid Kill. Both were traditionally published, and I also have a feature film Half Pace that's available on Tubi, Amazon, Diverse Cinema, and others. The links to all my stuff is at hovencrow.com, which is linked in the description, and I'll probably pin it in the comments. So, with all that out of the way, let's jump into it. If you are trying to get a truly professional grade artist, I'm talking you go to the bookstore, you go to the comic shop, you pick up a comic, who, the names that you see on that comic book, how do you get those artists? Well, it starts with research, okay? So, for me, the easiest way is to go online, go to leagueofcomicgeeks.com. For those who don't know what League of Comic Geeks is, it's one of those database websites where virtually, just like Previews World, it takes everything that's ever been, you know, announced and everything that's been released for years, and every cover that's been released in the comic shops with all the publishers, um, you can find it usually on there. So virtually any professional comic book that's been released in the past many years and anything that's been announced in the upcoming months is on that website. And you can look at things by category, by publisher, by creator, or what's very nice is you can look at it week to week. So what's coming out this week, what's coming out next week, what came out last week. You can look up everything and you can scroll down in order of basically how the popularity and demand each comic book is. All right? And because of this, it makes it really easy for you to basically look up who is in the game right now and who has been in the game for years. And essentially, what you do is you spend hours on there. It used to be easier with the website Comixology, but ever since Amazon kind of ruined that, League of Comic Geeks is your best bet. But you basically can just, step by step, go almost week by week into the past and into the current time and look up books or series that are the most similar to what you've written or the book that you want to make. Okay? And also, you can sort of scroll down the list and you can sort of put yourself in your own place and figure what's the most likely, you know, publisher that I want to work with, or kind of a creator that I want to work with, and you can look them up specifically. But for this, you're almost just trying to get as many. The whole point of this is you're just going to try to look at as many books that are similar to yours, and you're going to look at the artists because you're trying to find people that you maybe don't know, or that you've recognized, but you need to put them all on a list, and make that, like, you want like 20 to 50 to maybe even 100 names of like people that you would be willing to work with on your next book, the book that you're trying to find an artist for. Okay, by literally going through, and let's just say you're going to look through the last 6 months, and you're going to go and you're just going to scroll from the top to the bottom, maybe starting from the middle down because you're looking at independent books release, because usually at the very top it's mostly just Marvel and DC kind of stuff. So you're going to like go down a little bit and you're going to be looking down and you're going to see, when you see a cover that's in the genre that's yours, from an independent publisher or whatever, you're going to basically make a mental note of that book and you're going to look at the artists, and if it matches your style that you want, you're going to write down the artists that are involved in that book. And every book that's similar to the style and genre that you're wanting, and it doesn't even necessarily have to be genre, but for sure the artistic style that you're wanting and of the caliber that you're wanting, uh, you're going to write down those artists, okay? And then once you get your full list, you're then going to want to categorize this list of artists essentially based upon the most that you who do you want the most. And you basically go from, let's just say you have 30 names. At the very top of your list is going to be like if your dream artist that you could get that's most similar, that like you feel, even if you feel that you couldn't get this artist, they're so super big time, you're still going to want to keep them on there, okay? And then at the very bottom of your list, number 30 is going to be an artist that you probably know that would be is in your wheelhouse. Let's just say they match your style. They, you only found one book of theirs in your, last 6 months of research. It's from a lesser known publisher. Um, Someone that you feel as if you probably could get to work with you. That's, at the bottom. So it's almost just like, let's just say celebrities at the top, someone that's of your caliber, or at the bottom. All right. The next thing you're going to do is you're then going to try to take those names, and there's basically 5 forms of ways to find them. Okay, and what you're looking for is you're looking for an email address. Okay, or you're looking for them on social media. So just you can basically go to Google and look in their name and then type in writer or comics, and you can often, anything that they have usually will rise up to the top. But you're specifically looking to see if they have an Instagram page, a Facebook page, a Twitter page, a LinkedIn page, or if they have their own website. Because if they have any of these, you can then usually find whether or not they post their email, whether they're open for commissions, or if their DMs are open to where you can message them privately or directly. But preferably, to be as professional as possible, you want to try to find their email. Okay? And you'll also find that sometimes those most creators that are professional have a website that basically acts as their portfolio. And on their website, if they don't like specifically or explicitly say I'm open to commissions or not open to commissions, there will be people that offer like a contact form if they don't leave their own email that allows you to reach out them to directly. Some super big time people accept commissions, and they allow you to basically immediately directly contact them through a contact form that's specifically for commissioning work from them, to where they basically have a contact form that says, hey, I want to hire you for this, and they have almost like such a pro website that you like click boxes that say, I want cover work, I want it done within 6 months, I want it in color, I want it in blah blah blah. Pro artists have it set up to where like it's just they're like they got the machine set up, okay? Um, but not everyone's like that. So, but the whole point is you want to then take your list and then you want to find and then add to your list basically the contact info for each artist, okay? Once you have your list and you have the contact info, you essentially can now judge who is the most. Basically, you're now going to take your list of 30 and narrow it down to 10 of who do I want the most that I'm also most likely to get. Because in searching for their contact info, you will learn more about them. You'll learn essentially how many followers they have, how whether or not they're open to commissions, how basically eager they are looking for more work. And there will be some that you'll find that are specifically very much open to new projects, that are looking for new projects, and there are other ones that are hard to find. They don't even want you to find them because they're so in demand that they most likely, they basically leave everything to no contact info, no DMs or whatsoever. And those you'll most likely want to just like chop off your list because, um, unless you already have a connection with them, they're most likely going to say no anyway. Um, so then you're going to want to narrow down your list to 10. That's basically a combination of most likely to at least answer me if I request, send them, a message, and B, that I want to work with the most, okay? So it's basically now at the top of your list of 10 is like, this is the best artist that I think I can get. That's worked with another, that's independent series, that's like, they're known, they're at least established, if not, well known. But now you know them and they say they're open to commissions and things like that. So then what do you say to the artist whenever you're first reaching out to them? I basically say to do it this way. This is how I've done it. And I've also been on the receiving end of people reaching out to me for things. And this is what I say I look for, okay? What you want to send them is an email or a DM that's 1 to 3 sentences, essentially at most, okay? And in those 3 sentences, you're saying the most you can in a little amount of words. And what you first want to establish is your credibility and any connection you may have to the artist. So you want to state if you have a mutual friend or a colleague or any past books or comics that they may recognize that you've written. Any company you work for that's a recognizable name, like if you've done ad work for Google, you may want to say I've done this or that. If your job title is impressive, you may want to mention that. If you've won any awards in the industry or any other industry that's in somewhat of a creative field, if you're an alumni of a college that they're an alumni of, any connection you have with the artist and any credibility you have in the game that you're playing, which is creating comics or writing, you'll want to mention that right up front, okay? And then if you don't have any noteworthy credibility, then your credibility is simply your enthusiasm and respect for the artist. And from then on, you'll basically just have to say, "Hey, I'm a big fan. I have a lot of respect for you, and I have a great story to tell." And you'll now need to hook them on your story. And so basically, in the same sentence or in the second sentence, you just quickly say it's not a log line because the log line's too long. What you're going to say is just the hook of your story, which is simply basically it establishes the genre and then basically the length of the project that you're wanting to partner with them on. Hey, I have a sci-fi book, 4-issue series I have that I was wanting to partner with, and then you just say it's something like The Hook. It's Jaws meets Eyes Wide Shut, or whatever it is, okay? And then that's essentially all that you say. And then you just leave them with, this is the third, how you end it, third sentence, or even not, or even just like under your name, you leave them a link for where they can look you up and your work in more detail, such as a website or your social media. Okay? So now all they have to do when they read that is go, oh, okay, this is this person. I may know them this way. They have this book that they want me to work with them on. And here's where I can look them up to see what else they've done. Okay? Or look them up in more detail. Okay? You don't want to try to tell your whole life story in a cold email. You also, anyway, I don't want to dwell on it. Just quick and simple, those 3 things. Okay? Once and if you get a response, you'll then probably have to debate payment. All right? And this is where things can get kind of tricky. If you have any funds, offer to pay them a page rate and let them state their rate. If it's way too high for you, you can make a lower offer. But most of the time, they won't make an offer you can't afford. But with that said, in most deals, whoever says the first dumb number knows that it won't be final. Usually there's some kind of haggle or whatever the word is. Like if the seller says the first number, they're going to try to say the highest price they think they can get without sounding disrespectful or outrageous. And the same thing on the other end from the buyer's perspective. They're going to try to say the lowest number they can get without seeming disrespectful to the artist. So, and everyone knows that you come to a middle price. Um, However, if you're dealing with like you get like a top-notch artist, just give them what they ask, okay? Because they don't have time to negotiate. They've been doing this a long time. Their rate is their rate. They're not gonna. You're not gonna be able to sell them like, but my story's worth it, or like this is a passion project. Like they already have. They already can get the work, okay? So if you get a chance to work with them, they know their value. They're just gonna say, "This is my page rate. Take it or leave it." uh, um, there's not much room for bargaining, I guess. That's my suggestion when it's like someone that's super top notch and established. Um, but what most people don't know about this whole deal here is that even though you and an artist may set an agreement for a page rate that you'll pay them, you don't have to pay them immediately or even pay page by page. You know, you and the artist can write up a contract that basically maps out payment schedules and which also correlates to like their page completion schedules. For example, an artist may like say, "Hey, I have a page rate of $200 a page." But you can still say, I will pay that page rate, but I can only pay you 200 a month over the course of many months or weeks, okay? And a lot of times the artist will accept this over like back end payment, which is the other thing you can do. So sometimes artists won't necessarily have you be the one that pays them. You together agree as a writer and an artist that you'll take a percentage of the profits. However, many people that have been in this game for a long time know that not all books, even hits, make much profit. And so they would rather, just get their page rate up front and then you make all the profits. Okay? They basically put the burden on the writer as kind of the producer who's making the investment in them. Um, and then, they say like you can have all the profits. 100% of whatever the book makes back goes back to you, but essentially the burden falls on you to make back at least the page rates that you're paying the artist. Okay, that's often kind of the deal you're making. Is like you as the writer are the investor, the producer of the comic series. You're basically hiring them at their page rate and in hopes that you're going to make that page rate back plus more to profit for yourself as the owner of the IP. On the other end, many other creators will often want instead they have a lot of faith in your project and they will rather, instead of taking their page rate up front, they'll want to have ownership of the IP because they may want to make money off of the later deals down the line. They expect to make a lot of sales. That'll be more than their general page rate. They may expect the book to get options for, a TV series or something like that, or they'll know the whole game of how to make money actually on the back end, and they would rather just to take a percentage, the ownership of the IP instead. These are the kind of deals that you can make up front after you've established basically agreement with the artist, or at least that whenever they say they're interested, they'll then say, so let's discuss price, okay? And this is where you get to basically be the creator, producer, partner, and try to make the best deal for everyone that's involved. That's pretty much all I have about this topic for now. So like I was saying, if anybody wants to know more or any of those steps in more detail, let me know in the comments and I can explain further. But other than that, thanks everybody, and check out my website, hovencrow.com, and you can find links to all of my projects. Liquid Kill, issue 6, hits stores, I believe later this month, so check it out. Thanks everybody. See ya.